Last season, the Cleveland Guardians won the World Series despite having no expectations entering the postseason to do so. This year, entering the playoffs, it feels the complete opposite. The Cleveland Guardians are in prime position to repeat as world champions after winning 111 games and finishing with the best record in baseball. But if we've learned anything about the Major League playoffs, specifically last season, any team can win any playoff series, and Cleveland's got to keep their pedal to the metal. Welcome back, everybody, to the Cleveland Guardians franchise here on MLB The Show 22. Today we are kicking off the ALDS against the Detroit Tigers. Last episode, we wrapped up the month of September, and man, we are playing our best baseball. We only lost 3 games in the entire month. We only lost once after September 9th. And we are in a really good spot right now as we take a look at the standings through the regular season. We went 111-51, tying the franchise record for most wins in a regular season. And we won the World Series despite winning 22 less games a season ago. Our offense was phenomenal. We had 3 guys play at an MVP level, with Jose Ramirez ultimately winning it, and Kyle Lewis and Ketel Marte playing great as well. All of the young guys really performed. Alvaro Pena was great after he was called up. Ramon Romero was phenomenal, particularly in the second half of the season. Our offense has been elite all season, but they've been especially impressive in the month of September. The pitching has been a little bit more of a mixed bag, but the starting rotation is really starting to look consistent. John Means is pitching some of his best baseball, and the bullpen has been rock solid after a roller coaster stretch earlier in the season where there was a lot more inconsistencies. Of course, Jose Ramirez won the most valuable player along with multiple other awards to the team. And that brings us to the ALDS here against our division rivals, the Detroit Tigers, who won 85 games this year, 26 behind us in the division. But as we learned last season, we cannot take anybody for granted. Last year, we were in the same position that they were. We were the number 2 wild card team, and we shocked the best team in baseball, the New York Yankees, winning the ALDS in 4 games and ultimately steamrolling our way to a World Series. This Tigers team's got a lot of talent. They've got a really solid rotation mixed with young and old. Andrew Painter has never pitched in a Major League game, but they also have Jacob deGrom, who has been around the block. They've got some really solid offensive players in their lineup, so it's going to be a challenge. And I think our experience last year of winning the World Series, despite having one of the worst records of any team in the postseason that year, I think that experience is really going to help us this year, because we know, even though we finished way higher than these guys in the regular season standings, that doesn't really matter anymore. It's a 5-game series. You got to win 3 games, and if we don't, well, we're going home. Here's a look at both lineups. You may notice there is no Josh Bell for Cleveland. He quietly has hit really poorly against lefties this year, and the Tigers are starting a lefty. On the mound for Cleveland is the ace Shane Bieber, who was actually a little disappointing this year. Hasn't pitched all that well recently. Hopefully he can pick it up here today, a guy who has always performed well in the postseason for the Guardians, as he gets Spencer Torkelson to go down looking on the slider. Quick 1-2-3 inning from Bieber Fever. As we go to the bottom of the first to take a look at Tariq Skubal, the southpaw on the mound for the Tigers. He was okay this year. Not bad, but not great either. Cleveland certainly planning their lineup accordingly, facing off against the lefty, and that includes Ramon Romero hitting up in the order. Romero capitalizes early as he hits that one off the wall for a double. Ramon Romero has really improved against right-handed pitching this year. Against lefties, he has still been elite. He now has 99 contact against lefties. That's pretty remarkable. Ketel Marte also has 99 contact against lefties, but he's got some pop too. Marte hits it high and deep into center, and it goes off the wall. Romero held up at second until the ball dropped. He thought there was a chance that ball would have been caught. If he had started running earlier, he could have scored. But with one away, Cleveland felt it wasn't worth the risk, so he does not score. And maybe that's going to backfire as Jose Ramirez strikes out. So there's 2 runners in scoring position, 2 away. A huge opportunity for Kyle Lewis, who has never played in the postseason before. His first playoff at bat is a grounder to short. Javier Baez makes the play. And despite getting 2 runners in scoring position, Cleveland does not drive either of them in here in the bottom of the first inning, as it is still tied at 0. Let's go top 2. Joey Gallo up for Detroit, hitting cleanup as he strikes out on the fastball. Shane Bieber looking really good early in this ball game, not letting the Tigers offense get anything going. We'll see if he'll be able to keep it going throughout the night, facing off against Connor Scott, who also strikes out on the high cutter. Shane Bieber has retired beside in each of the first 2 innings, looking really good so far. We'll see if the offense can respond after getting a couple base runners early. The 19-year-old third baseman Alvaro Pena strikes out in his first career postseason at bat. Good pitch by Skubal, his 3rd K of the day. Zane Rowley dominated in the postseason last year, should have won World Series MVP. He draws a walk, so Rowley is on first. 2 away now for the reigning World Series MVP, who robbed it from Rowley, Eliezer Alfonso, who also draws a walk. So now 2 on, 2 away for the top of the order. It's Jesus Sanchez, who also was great last year in the playoffs. Pops it up. The young catcher, Keibert Ruiz, will make the play, and that'll end the inning. So Cleveland has had 4 base runners here in the first 2 innings, and they have not gotten any of them to score. Top 3, 2 away for Keibert Ruiz. He singles into left. Ruiz was acquired from the Nationals a couple years ago in exchange for outfielder Akil Baddoo, who was sent to the Cubs at the deadline. Inning comes to a quick close, however, as Raymond Prince grounds out to second. 3 really good innings for Shane Bieber. He's only allowed 1 base runner so far, looking like the ace that we know he is. Bottom 3, Ketel Marte gets plunked by Skubal. Marte clearly frustrated. He'll take his base. Full count now for Jose Ramirez. Lines it into right. That'll go for a single. Just like the first and second innings, the Guardians have multiple guys on base. They got to capitalize and drive these guys in. Kyle Lewis strikes out on the sinker. Big pitch for Skubal, who's already nearly at 70 pitches. That'll bring up Alvaro Pena. The count is full. 2 away, and Pena's going to ground this one over to second. Routine play to first. So Cleveland has had multiple base runners in every inning so far, yet they have no runs to show for it. Still tied at 0. Top 4, Riley Green draws a walk. The Tigers' offense starting to get a little bit going, but it's mostly been quiet. Spencer Torkelson, the former number 1 draft pick out of Arizona State, will single into center. So now things are getting interesting for the Tigers. They have 2 runners aboard, nobody out, and a great opportunity to score first. Joey Gallo is up, and he goes fishing on the low knuckle curve. What a great pitch by Shane Bieber. All aboard the Shane train. 2 away for Scott. Flies it into right. Zane Rowley makes the play. So Shane Bieber allows 2 early base runners, but gets the next 3 out. 4 scoreless for Bieber Fever. Still 0-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Zane Rowley, swing and miss. However, that ball goes way by Ruiz, and Rowley's able to advance to first on the wild pitch. So a lucky play there for Zane Rowley despite striking out. And again, Cleveland's got another base runner. 2 away for Jesus Sanchez with Rowley on second, and that is line to third. But it is caught pretty easily by Isaac Paredes. If you've been counting at home, that is now 7 base runners for Cleveland. Still no runs to show for it as we go to the 5th. Keibert Ruiz grounds it into left. That'll go for a leadoff single. The Tigers are starting to hit the ball a little bit. It's only a matter of time until their offense really gets something going. Diemi Odiemi gets that one down the line and fair, possibly for extra bases. It's a double. Odiemi played through the Rockies last year, who lost to Cleveland in the World Series. So Odiemi's got some bad blood with this team. 2 runners in scoring position, nobody out for Isaac Paredes, who grounds this one to second. Ramiro misplays it, and Paredes is safe at first. Doesn't matter in terms of the run scoring because he would have scored regardless. And we finally have runs. It's 1-0 Detroit. Still nobody out. Raymond Prince hits that one over the glove of Jose Ramirez, playing first today. Another run scores. It's an RBI double for the rookie Prince, and it's 2-0 with runners in scoring position, and still nobody out. The Tigers are really getting things going. Why stop now? Riley Green with a high fly ball into left. Lewis with a great catch, but that'll score a run off of the sacrifice fly. That's Paredes who scores, making it 3-0 Detroit. 1 away for Torque with a runner 90 feet away from home as he grounds it up the middle. Going to be a tough play for Swanson, and he will get him barely, but another run scores, and it's now 4-0 Tigers as they are really opening this game up. We go to the bottom of the 5th, a pitching change for Detroit as James Paxton checks into the game. Tariq Skubal did not allow any runs, but he allowed so many base runners that his pitch count really got high. Paxton's a lefty. Ramon Ramiro enjoys hitting against lefties. Well, that time he didn't get a hit as he doesn't swing the bat and instead draws a walk. One away now for the American League MVP. Jose Ramirez, who hit nearly 50 homers, he gets plunked. So that's 2 more base runners for Cleveland. Can they drive one of these guys in? It's Kyle Lewis now at the plate. 2-2 pitch, swinging a miss. That's a really, really good pitch. Can't really fault anybody. Just a great play from Paxton. Big opportunity now for the Rook, Alvaro Pena, 3-1. Pena grounds it over to first, and the Tigers will get out of the inning. So with 2 more base runners, that is now 9 runners left on base here through the first 5 innings for Cleveland. And they have 0 runs to show for it. That is, quite frankly, embarrassing. That is how you lose playoff games, and that's how you lose playoff series. Shane Bieber taken out of the game. He'll be replaced by Nick Sandlin, who was really solid this year, 3.18 ERA. He starts with Javier Baez, who hits it high and pretty deep and a right. Rally at the track at the wall. It is gone. Solo home run for Javi Baez, and the Detroit Tigers make it 5-0. Cleveland is quite literally imploding right now. The Tigers have all the momentum, and Keibert Ruiz says, rise, stop now. Ruiz, high, deep, and gone. Solo home run into right field, and the Detroit Tigers now take a 6-0 lead. What is happening? This is a pathetic performance right now from Cleveland. Sandlin taken out of the game. He'll be replaced by Camilo Duvall, who is inconsistent throughout the year, but when he's on, we know how damn good he is. Facing off against Isaac Paredes, who goes down on the slider. So Duvall gets through his 2 batters pretty easily, but still not a great inning as the Tigers extend their lead even further. Cleveland's got to get somebody to score at some point, right? They've gotten so many base runners tonight. There's another one, a single for Alfonso with 2 away. That'll bring up Jesus Sanchez. Hasn't really done much tonight so far. 1-2. Goes down looking on the changeup. So that is now 10 runners left on base with nobody scoring for the Guardians as we move into the 7th. Dylan Tate in for Cleveland. He had a great season this year, hoping to keep it going in the playoffs as he starts by striking out Raymond Prince for the first out of the inning. 2 away now for Spencer Torkelson. Had a base hit earlier today. Gets another one here as that one is hit down the line and fair for a single. So Torque is aboard. We'll see if Detroit can look to add some insurance to their comfortable lead. Not in this inning as Joey Gallo goes down on the circle change. Through the top of the 7th, it has been all Detroit. 6 runs, 9 hits. Nice as the Tigers lead 6-0. Can Cleveland finally get something going here? Ramiro checks his swing for strike 3. That was close. I think it was a little bit high, so I think the umpire called him out because of the swing. Ketel Marte now beats the shift perfectly. This one hit nicely into right, and that one looks like it'll be a double for Ketel Marte as he slides safely into second. Cleveland has now had a base runner in all 7 innings today. Still have yet to score anybody. Will this be the play they change? I think it will. Kyle Lewis with a base hit into center. Ketel Marte scores no problem, and the Guardians are finally on the board. Thank God. But they still have a lot of damage control to do down by 5. And that's not going to help, swinging at pitches at your ankles. It's been a rough playoff debut for Alvaro Pena. Hasn't really done anything of note at the plate. But hey, at least Cleveland's on the board, 6-1. James Karinchak checks into the game here in the 8th. 3.1 ERA. He was pretty good this year, particularly after the first couple of months. Javi Baez leads it off, and this one is hit high and deep into right center at the track, and it is caught. Baez went deep in his last at-bat, nearly did it again. One away for Gallo. He singles into right. The Tigers may be up by 5, but they know how talented this Cleveland offense is. They're trying to get all the insurance they can get. Keibert Ruiz singles into left as well. So far, James Karinchak is getting rocked. A near home run, now 2 base hits. Can he get out of the inning as he strikes out Odiemi for the second? Big pitch there by Karinchak, got him on the fastball. And then Isaac Paredes lines it to second. Good catch by Ramiro. Good job by Karinchak to get out of the jam. But Cleveland still got to, make a comeback down by 5. Gregory Soto is in for Detroit, the former All-Star who has not really ever pitched like an All-Star, this year included. Josh Bell playing in a pinch hit role despite facing a lefty, and he will pop out over to Torkelson. Nothing going in the 8th offensively for the Guardians. Can they spew off a big comeback in the 9th, or will they trail 1-0? Brusdar Graterol is in for Cleveland, 3.4 ERA, 1.31 whip. Wasn't all that good, honestly, after being acquired midseason from the Dodgers. And his day does not start off too well as he allows a one-out double. So the Tigers got themselves a runner in scoring position. That was Riley Green. And then Joey Gallo will strike out. So that'll wrap up the inning. The top of the order's up here in the bottom of the ninth, but Cleveland's going to need at least 5 to keep this game alive. Kendall Graveman is in for the Tigers. He pitched in 79 games and was pretty good with a sub-3 ERA. 2 away, facing off against Ketel Marte, the 1-2, swinging a miss on the sinker as the Detroit Tigers upset the Guardians in Game 1 of the ALDS, really dominating in this one 6-1. I don't know if I would necessarily say it's like a blowout victory because Cleveland had so many opportunities with runners on base. It just never capitalized, leaving 11 runners on. They got a runner on in the first 7 innings before doing completely nothing at the end of the game offensively. The Tigers hit the ball well towards the middle of this game. 4 runs in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. Didn't do a whole lot other than that. But their pitching was really good. They did well with runners on base, as we obviously didn't. 1 run, 6 hits, few walks as well. Shane Bieber was good through 4 innings, but kind of blew it in the 5th. Nick Sandlin wasn't good. The rest of the bullpen was. I don't think this loss is on the pitching. I think it's more so on the offense just not being clutch. So hopefully that can change here in Game 2. We've got to win this game. If we lose, we'll be down 2-0, and that would be really, really bad. We saw what happened last year when the MLB at best New York Yankees struggled early in the ALDS because that was at the hands of us. We had less to play for than the Yankees did last year, and it's the exact same with the Tigers this year. So we've got to win this game or else we could be in a lot of trouble. The Tigers are starting another lefty today, but Josh Bell will be getting the start at first base because Cleveland felt that they've just got to put their best guys on the field today because this is a must-win game. John Means getting the start, another lefty, 3.48 ERA, 1.21 whip. Really was not good before the All-Star break. It took him a while to come back from a season-ending injury he suffered last year with the Rangers, but he's finally pitching well again, which is really good to see as he walks Spencer Torkelson with 2 away. Joey Gallo now hits it high and pretty deep into right field. Elliot Ramos at the track at the wall. It is gone. 2-run homer for Joey Gallo, and with how bad Game 1 was, this is a disastrous start. The Tigers get 2 in the top of the first, and if Cleveland doesn't figure something out, this could get really ugly really fast. Javier Baez luckily will go down on the changeup, but not a good start with the home run by Gallo. Eduardo Rodriguez starting for the Tigers. He was pretty horrible this year, if I'm being completely honest. 5.6 ERA. His first batter, Jesus Sanchez with a high fly ball into right. That baby is gone. Solo home run for Jesus Sanchez, and the Guardians are on the board. Their first home run of the playoffs this year. Cleveland just had to get something going offensively. If they did not, strike early today, it could have gone downhill quickly. So it's really good to see the offense so far through 1 at bat is awake, and it looks like they're going to hit the ball a little bit better than they did in Game 1. Jose Ramirez lines it into left. That'll go for a single. So Cleveland's got 2 hits in this inning. We'll see if they can drive J-Ram in as it's Ramon Romero who hits it pretty well into left field. At the track, at the wall, it is caught. Close play. That could have been an extra base hit. Could have driven in a run. Not a bad first inning offensively, but Cleveland does trail 2-1. Eric Haas, the catcher, draws a walk. Haas usually starts against lefties. And now with 2 away, Romero tries to make a play on that ground ball. He overruns it somehow, and that'll be an infield single for Detroit. Raymond Prince now up. He strikes out on the slider. So John Means is able to get out of a jam as it is still a 2-1 ball game. Bottom 2, Elliot Ramos getting the start today. He will draw a walk. Ramos has played pretty well, went healthy this year, did miss some time with an injury. Cleveland wanting to see what he can do. That brings up Alvaro Pena with 1 away. That one hops in front of the wall. Looks like it'll be a double for the rookie. Pena with his first career postseason hit. And the Guardians have 2 runners in scoring position with 1 away. In Game 1, they couldn't drive these guys in. They cannot make the same mistakes here in Game 2. Luis Campusano, grounder over to second. That's fine, because the runner at third scores. Not a bad at bat. So Campusano drives in a run in his first postseason at bat of the year, getting the start behind the plate today as it is tied at 2. That'll bring up Jesus Sanchez, homered in the last inning, singles in this one, driving in another run. See, kids, this is what happens when your offense makes plays in situational moments with runners on base. 3-2 lead for the Guardians, their first lead in the playoffs, as Joey Gallo strikes out to end the third. Good inning from John Means. Hopefully Cleveland can keep this momentum going offensively, because this looks a lot different here early in this game compared to Game 1. Ketel Marte leads off the third with a liner into right, and that one's going to drop for an extra base hit. There have been a couple instances in this series where the Tigers have played the shift on Ketel Marte, and it has backfired. So Marte is now in scoring position with nobody out. That'll bring up Jose Ramirez, who hits it high, deep, and gone. See you later, baseball. That's a home run, making it 5-2. 388 feet for Jose Ramirez, who hit 47 long bombs in the regular season, 33 of which came before the All-Star break, and it is now 5-2. Why not keep the good times rolling on offense? Ramon Romero with a single into center. Still nobody out, by the way. Cleveland is really hitting the ball well here against Eduardo Rodriguez. Josh Bell strikes out on the circle change. Bell not really doing anything of note so far early in the postseason. He hit the ball against righties better than normal this year, but as I said earlier, he's been horrible against lefties. I don't really know why. Alvaro Pena draws a walk. Pena's been very good against both sides of the plate this year. 2 on, 2 away for Campusano. Checks his swing for strike 3. But again, not a bad inning. Cleveland has scored in every inning so far as it's 5-2 into the fourth. Javier Baez leads it off. Going to be a close play for Marte. And the throw is just not in time. Good hustle by Javier Baez for a leadoff infield single. Riley Green rips it into the outfield for a single. So the Tigers struck early on offense with a 2-run homer by Gallo. It's been quiet since then, but it seems like they're waking up again. Eric Haas now singles into right. Baez, aggressive, heads home. Really good throw for Ramos, but it's just not in time. Baez is safe. 5-3. That was a really good throw by Elliot Ramos. Aggressive play by Baez to score. And then Isaac Paredes is going to ground into an inning-ending 3-6-3 double play. Good defense by Bell and Marte, but not a horrible inning for the Tigers. They do score 1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Eduardo Rodriguez really not pitching well today, as with 1 away, he allows a single into center to Kyle Lewis. So maybe Cleveland's going to add some more. Lewis, the only player with an RBI back in the first game, as Marte hits it high and deep. Go ball, go! It's gone! 2-run homer for Ketel Marte, and it is now 7-3. Cleveland has scored multiple runs in each of the last 3 innings. The Tigers got to make a pitching change. Eduardo Rodriguez has been horrible today. He'll be replaced by Zach Davies, who has honestly somehow been even worse than Eduardo Rodriguez was in the regular season. Davies would get through the rest of the inning with no problem as we move into the fifth. Raymond Prince strikes out to lead off the inning. 2 gone now for Torque. And this one is hit nicely, likely for extra bases in a right center field. Ramos chasing after it. Torque on his high horse. That will be a double. Ramos slow to get rid of it. So Torkelson's going to advance to third somehow. And that turns into one of the weirder base running sequences you'll ever see. Luckily, it's not really going to matter too much as Gallo grounds out to short. Good play by Marte. That'll end John Means' day. 5 innings, 3 earned runs, not horrible. He struggled early, but in the last 4 innings, has only allowed 1 run. As we go into the 6th, Dylan Tate will come into the game to replace John Means. Tate pitched a shutout inning back in the 7th, I believe, of Game 1. With 2 away, Eric Haas hits it well into center, but Jesus Sanchez makes a great grab. A 1-2-3 inning from Tate, who continues to be one of the most reliable players, not just out of the bullpen, but on this team in general. Nick Sandlin comes into the game here in the 7th. He did not do so well in Game 1, allowing 2 home runs back in the 6th inning. Diemi Odiemi leads the inning off with a base hit. Nick Sandlin really has not been on his A game since the All-Star break. I feel like when the bullpen was struggling, he was doing really well, and then when the bullpen was doing really well, he was pretty average. But he does force a double play here, so I guess it's not all bad from Nick Sandlin. Now facing off against Raymond Prince. He's going to get another base hit. So Sandlin has allowed 4 base hits within, I think, the 6 batters he's faced off against so far in the postseason. Not great as he faces off against Colton Juan, who's been pretty quiet early in this playoff series. He draws a walk. So if Prince and Wanya on base, that'll bring up Torkelson, who strikes out. Good job by Sandlin to get out of a jam. Neither team has scored since the fourth inning as it remains 7-3. Jose Ramirez looks to change that. He hits this one into straightaway center field. That ball is out of here. See ya. It's a home run. Jose Ramirez with his second of the game, 430 feet. Hello. And it is now 8-3. Jose Ramirez playing like an MVP in this game. Last year, Jose Ramirez really was not good at all in the postseason. So to see him play well early is very refreshing, because in last year's World Series run, there were times where he was almost unplayable. Ramon Ramiro singles into right. Another base hit for Ramiro, who's hitting the ball really well so far in the playoffs. Zane Rowley up off the bench. Mr. Clutch singles into center. So Rowley and Ramiro, the two 20-year-old kids, both on base, two of the youngest World Series champs ever. Josh Bell grounds it to short. Baez to Prince, over to Torkelson. That's a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Josh Bell has been a complete non-factor so far in the playoffs, but not a bad inning. Cleveland extends the lead going into the eighth. Brusdar Graterol is in for Cleveland. He pitched a scoreless frame back in the top of the ninth of Game 1. With one away, Javier Baez, who has been honestly quite good so far for the Tigers here in the postseason, singles into left. Baez homered in the first game, nearly homered again later in that matchup. That'll bring up Eric Haas, who grounds it over to Marte, flips it over to Ramiro. That'll end the inning. The Guardians look like they're in a good spot. They're up by 5. Hopefully they can hold on to this lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Kendall Graveman is in for Detroit. He pitched a scoreless bottom of the 9th back in Game 1. We'll see what he can do here, facing on against former Tigers prospect Eliezer Alfonso, coming off the bench, making a splash. Alfonso hits that one well into right center field, and that'll be a double. Sliding into second, I don't really know why he slid, but okay, that works. Alfonso in scoring position with one away, as that'll bring up Jesus Sanchez. He's driven in a pair of runs today, set the tone with the leadoff homer, might drive in another run. No, it's caught. Alfonso's going to look to head to third. The throw from Green is in time. They got him. An 8-5 assist. What a throw by Riley Green to turn the double play. Camilo Doval checks into the game to finish it off. Doval pitched against two batters in Game 1, got them both out as he strikes out Odiemi on the low and inside slider. That was a nice pitch. Now going up against Prince, swinging a miss on the fastball. That's your ball game, folks. Cleveland, after losing in Game 1, takes a much-needed Game 2, 8-3. We knew we had to win this game or else we would be in big trouble. We could not afford to go back to Detroit down 2-0, needing to win 3 in a row. So to win this game pretty convincingly certainly feels good, as it is now a 3-game series pretty much. The Tigers' offense was not great. They started the game off pretty well with the 2-run homer in the first inning by Gallo, but they only scored one more run after that, driven in by Eric Haas. Eduardo Rodriguez honestly was pretty terrible, and to be honest, the Tigers' bullpen for the most part was pretty good. Our offense did more than enough early in this game, scoring 7 runs in the first 4 innings. Sanchez and Marte went deep. Ramirez went deep twice. John Means had a good start. The bullpen pitched well. Overall, really, really strong win. So as we head into Games 3 and 4, which will be in the next episode, I honestly think both teams are in a pretty good spot right now. The Tigers have to feel pretty good about how the first 2 games went. They won one on the road. As for us, we played a lot better in Game 2, so maybe we can keep that momentum going into Game 3. So I think both of these teams are feeling pretty good, and one of them is going to be in for a rude awakening. As we look at the rest of the playoff bracket, the other series in the American League is pretty close, with the Astros and Blue Jays tied at 1, whereas in the National League, the 2 higher seeds, the Dodgers and Marlins, are both handling business up 2-0. That'll wrap up the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.